You know, I actually thought I wanted $50,000 months. I did, but there was a hurt, damaged piece of me that was terrified of what having that money actually meant. And until I found that story and healed it, I kept creating locked doors when I had the key in my pocket all along. Guys, if you're new here, I work with heart led coaches who are exhausted from borrowed strategies and ready to build something real. And here's what I've discovered: the coaches who stay stuck aren't missing tactics, they're carrying stories that aren't theirs. Like, I've been there myself. I had all the skills to transform lives, but I kept hitting invisible walls right before major breakthroughs. I'd have the perfect client ready to say yes to my $10,000 program, then suddenly find a reason why it wasn't the right fit. I'd build momentum for months, then mysteriously lose motivation right when it was all about to come together. It took me years to realize that I wasn't failing because of my strategy. I was failing because my subconscious was running protection programs I didn't even know existed. So, today I'm going to show you how and why your subconscious creates resistance to the very goals you think you want, and how to find the hidden story that's been running your business decisions without you knowing it. We'll cover why wanting something isn't enough and how your past creates invisible roadblocks to your future. We'll go through not the three step, but the three specific ways this shows up in coaching business and the exact process to uncover and rewrite the story that's keeping you small. And if that's stung and you're like want to leave, that's cool. Go find another like just general tactic video. But here's the uncomfortable truth: you can logically know you should want $50,000 months or $10,000 or $20,000. You can even genuinely believe that you want them. But if there's a damaged piece of you carrying a story about what that success means, you'll sabotage it every single time. Your subconscious, my friend, is running an autoimmune response to your goals. Just like an autoimmune disease attacks healthy tissue thinking it's a threat, your nervous system attacks your success because it thinks that your goals aren't safe. Ooh. I mean, think about it for a second. When you were growing up, what messages did you receive about money, about success, about people who had it all? Like maybe you heard things like, money doesn't grow on trees, or rich people are greedy. Don't get too big for your britches. Good things don't last. Like, let's just think about it like this. You say you want financial freedom, but deep down, you're actually terrified of the responsibility that comes with it. Because freedom isn't just getting what you want, freedom is responsibility. Freedom is the will to be responsible to oneself. And that scared part of you is screaming, it's not safe. I mean, maybe you watched successful people in your family become isolated. Maybe you learned that having more means people expect more from you. Maybe you saw wealth destroy relationships that you cared about. And maybe it wasn't actually the wealth, but you just associated that. And here's what makes this even more insidious: we don't consciously remember making these connections. A 5-year old doesn't think, oh, I'm learning that success equals isolation. They just absorb the energy, the tension, the unspoken rules about what's safe and what's dangerous. So now, decades later, when you're about to hit that income goal, your nervous system doesn't see opportunity. It sees threat. It doesn't see growth. It sees danger. And it will do whatever it takes to keep you in the familiar zone, even if familiar feels like shit. So if your subconscious says, nope, We're staying right here where it's familiar, even if familiar feels like shit. That's just, I mean, so how does this show up in your coaching business, right? You guys are like, all right, Chase, enough. Let's get to it. Like your subconscious doesn't just create resistance. It creates elaborate detours that feel completely logical. First, you avoid the responsibility of leadership. You want to help people, but you don't want to be seen as the authority because being the authority means people will judge you, criticize you, maybe even leave you. So if you stay hidden, play small, you can just call it humility. I mean, how does this show up, right? You already know. Undercharging because you don't want to seem money focused. Over delivering because you're afraid your coaching and your program isn't worth it. Avoiding direct offers because you don't want to be pushy. Or staying in Facebook groups instead of building your own audience. Second, you create chaos right before your breakthrough. Say your launch is going well, then suddenly you get sick. Your relationship explodes. Your tech breaks. Your subconscious is hitting the emergency brake because success feels like stepping into the unknown. And the unknown feels dangerous because the only thing that we know about the unknown is what we stand to lose. We've never experienced the upside. And I see this pattern again and again and again. The coach who somehow gets food poisoning the day before their biggest sales call. The coach who somehow their relationship goes to shit right when their business starts thriving. The coach who suddenly decides to pivot their entire message mid launch. Like it's not coincidence. It's your nervous system creating familiar chaos to avoid unfamiliar success. Here's another way you choose familiar struggle over unfamiliar success. Coaches will stay stuck at $5,000 months because they know how to handle that level of stress. But $50,000 months, that's uncharted territory. What if you can't handle it? What if it changes you? What if you lose yourself? Or what if you find yourself? I mean, this is the most subtle form of self sabotage because it looks like being realistic or staying grounded. You probably tell yourself, I don't need that much money. I don't want to get too big. I like I like keeping things simple. But I mean, really? You're just scared of what success might demand of you. It's like your nervous system would rather keep you in a burning building that you know than let you walk into a mansion that you've never seen. At least you know how to survive in the fire. And here's the kicker: the more self aware you are, the more sophisticated your self sabotage becomes. Hi, it's me. You won't just procrastinate, you'll procrastinate in the name of alignment. You won't just avoid sales calls, you'll avoid them because you're not ready to serve at that level yet, or they've already have it on their own, or they're not an aligned client. You'll find a reason. Your ego gets really good at making self-sabotage sound spiritual. This is hitting way too close to home for past Chase right now, guys. I'm getting a little uncomfortable. But like, here's how to reprogram this at a high level. If you want my full process, stay tuned. I'll tell you how to get it at the end here. But here's how you reprogram this. You stop fighting with reality and start working with it. If you go to war with reality, you will lose. And to refuse to face an issue is to fear the worst is true. So, step one, acknowledge the protection. That part of you that's creating resistance, it's not your enemy, guys. It's trying to keep you safe based on old information and old patterns. Thank it for working so hard to protect you. Like this isn't some woo-woo exercise either. This is practical nervous system work. When you acknowledge the protection instead of fighting it, you can stop creating internal war. You stop making yourself wrong for having resistance. Crazy idea, I know. But like come to terms with what is and you can actually move forward. Update the operating system is step 2. So you need to prove to your nervous system that success is safe. Not through positive thinking only, but through actual embodied experience. Like action dispels overwhelm. Take small steps toward your goals while staying regulated. Show your subconscious, look, I can be visible and still be loved. Here's what this looks like practically. Like raise your prices by $500, not 5,000. Make one direct offer per week, not 10 per day, or 3 per week at least. Share one vulnerable story, not your entire trauma history. Book one high level client, then integrate that experience before booking 10, before piling ads on. You're literally retraining your nervous system to associate success with safety instead of danger. Guys, this should be behind a paywall. This is what makes people millions of dollars. Embrace radical responsibility is step 3. Like actually, freedom is the will to be responsible to ourselves. By the way, what is responsibility? It's not control, it's your ability to respond. So you put space between your reaction and your response. Your reaction is usually you trying to control. Your response, your responsibility. Embrace radical responsibility. Stop waiting for permission to want what you want. Like, stop apologizing for your ambitions, guys. Stop fucking apologizing for the things you want. The coaches hitting $50,000 months aren't more deserving than you. They just stopped believing their goals were wrong. Because here's what I learned. Most people don't really want freedom because freedom involves responsibility. And most people are frightened of responsibility. I mean, sad truth is most people would rather stay controlled than step into their power and get the things that they say they want. And this is where it gets really deep. Like, you have to be willing to, in quotes, disappoint people because all it's doing is just stirring up things in them they wish they had chased. You have to be willing to outgrow relationships because if you outgrow them, they were never there for you in the first place. You have to be willing to become someone that your old self would not recognize. And I mean, yeah, that's terrifying, but it's also absolutely liberating. But I mean, you're not most people, are you? Because you're still here 13 minutes in. So here's what most coaches miss. You can't build a $50,000 a month business with a $5,000 a month identity. And your identity isn't just how you see yourself. It's the collection of beliefs, behaviors, and boundaries that determine what you think is possible for someone like you. A $5,000 a month coach thinks, man, I hope this client says yes. I mean, I would really like to pay down some credit cards. I should probably lower my prices, though, so they do say yes. I mean, I don't want to seem too salesy, though. Oh, man. Maybe not ready for this level yet. Let's just go get a part-time bartending gig or like do some in-person personal training. $50,000 a month coach thinks this client will be lucky to work with me. My prices reflect my value. I'm here to serve, not to please. And I am exactly where I need to be. The gap between these two identities isn't just mindset, though. Like, it's not just the words, it's nervous system capacity. Like, can you hold the energy of being that successful? Can you handle the visibility, the responsibility, maybe even like the inevitable criticism? Because if you have raving fans, there will be the polarity of people that don't get it. Most coaches try to skip this step. They want the income without the identity shift. They want the results without the responsibility. They want the freedom without the fear. They want to have their fucking cake and eat it too. Make it make sense. But here's the truth. Your business will never exceed your nervous system's capacity to handle success. Like, it's just plain and simple. You will find a way to keep it within that capacity. So start practicing being that person now. Like, how does a $50,000 a month coach show up to sales calls? How do they handle objections? How do they price their offers? I mean, if you need help on that one, go back to my video of the difference between $10,000, $20,000, and $50,000 a month. How does a $50,000 a month coach respond to criticism? How do they manage their energy? I mean, guys, don't wait until you're making $50,000 a month to try to embody that identity. That's the long road. Embody it now, and the money will follow. I mean, and this isn't like I'm a $50,000 a month coach. No, do the thing. Show up as that person. Because you're not failing because you lack skills. You're failing because you're trying to build a business on top of unhealed stories about what success will cost you. That's why some of you have been in my DMs for a year saying, "Oh yeah, I'm going to get going. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it." But you keep kicking the can down the road. Because every time you hit an income ceiling, every time you sabotage a launch, every time you create drama right before a breakthrough, every time you spend money somewhere else instead of investing in yourself, that's not bad luck. That's your subconscious protecting you from a future it thinks will destroy you. And I mean, side note, it will destroy the current you. That's what we're after. But I mean, it's like having a bodyguard who's still protecting you from threats that don't exist anymore. Like, you're not 5 years old getting in trouble for being too big for your britches. You're not going to be abandoned for being successful. And you're definitely, contrary to what a lot of people will tell you, you're not going to lose your soul by making money. But that scared of part of you doesn't know that yet. And the current identity that you hold doesn't want to die to make room for the new one. And I mean, here's what I've learned after working with hundreds of coaches. The thing you're most afraid that success will cost you, that's usually the thing that you need to let go of anyway. Afraid success will make you arrogant? Good. Let go of false humility. Afraid it'll make you greedy? Good. Let go of poverty consciousness. Like, it's not noble. Afraid it will isolate you? Good. Let go of relationships built on your smallness. Shouldn't be the biggest fish in every single room you're in. The coaches who break through are not the ones who overcome their fears. They're the ones who stop making their fears wrong and start making different choices anyway. They feel the fear and charge premium prices. They feel the resistance and make the offer. They feel the terror and step into leadership. Keyword being feel, because any feeling felt fully is bliss. So here's the question. I mean, are you going to keep letting that frightened little child run your business decisions? Or are you ready to step into the responsibility and the freedom, same thing, that comes with owning your power? I mean, look, your subconscious isn't trying to sabotage you. It's well-meaning. It's trying to protect you from what it thinks success will demand of you. But here's the truth. The responsibility you're avoiding, that's exactly what will set you free. Because freedom isn't the absence of responsibility. Freedom is responsibility. The responsibility to show up fully. The responsibility to charge what you're worth. The responsibility to impact as many lives as you're capable of impacting. And here's what happens when you finally embrace that responsibility. You stop needing permission. You stop waiting for the right time. You stop making excuses for why you can't have what you want. You start being the person who already has it. So, if you're still here 20 minutes in, if you're ready to stop letting old stories run your business and start building from a place of healed power, shoot me a DM on Instagram with responsibility. Let's find out what's really been keeping you small and rewrite it together. Because you don't have a business problem. You don't have a problem. You have an opportunity. It's not even a story problem. It's a story opportunity. And the beautiful thing about stories and why it's an opportunity and not a problem, they can always be rewritten. I mean, the only question is, are you ready to pick up the pen? Or are you going to keep letting somebody else write your life? And if you want to go even deeper on this, but you're not ready to have a call with me, I've created a free guide that walks you through the exact process for identifying the hidden stories that are sabotaging your success. It's called The Story Audit, and you can grab it in the description below. It includes the specific questions I ask my clients to uncover their subconscious blocks, plus a step-by-step process for rewriting those stories into ones that actually serve your success.